When we are writing the charter, we have to see that we are using the good words to avoid problems and to avoid misinterpretations. Words have to have a clear meaning, and of course, in the charter, we should avoid technical terminology. What are the words to avoid? When we look at words, typically we tend to say we want to make something larger, faster, or bigger. These are words that are confusing. Some words can be interpreted in different ways. A typical problem I always encounter is the difference between ASAP and immediately. ASAP means as soon as possible, which is a priority, but it will be following the other priorities. The order of the priorities should not be changed. Immediately, on the other hand, means that you have to do the work or you have to do the task immediately. You do it before all the other priorities, but it also means that the other priorities are changed. Their dates of completion or even their costs may change. In many cases, people tend to use ASAP as immediately. And when my boss asked me to do a job ASAP, I did it as soon as possible. 1 week later, he asked me, "Look, did you complete the task?" I said, "No, it's ASAP. I didn't start with it yet. I still have other priorities to complete." Of course, as a good project manager, I was observing his body language. And without him saying anything, I could deduct immediately that he was not happy because he meant immediately. So I asked him, "I suppose that you meant immediately." And he confirmed. So I told him, "Well, when I have to do this immediately, it has an impact on the other activities that I have to do. Can I change their due dates?" And he said, "No, you cannot." I said, "But that's a problem because doing this additional task will have an impact on the other tasks. I cannot do it. It's impossible." So finally he said, "Okay, do it ASAP." Now your boss may use ASAP because he or she thinks that ASAP is more polite than immediately. When you have to do something immediately, well, it can have a reason. If the building is on fire, you will leave immediately. When they tell you to leave the building ASAP, you take all your stuff, you close the school, you close everything, you leave the building with all your things. On the other hand, when it's on fire, you just take a few things and you get out. So understanding the difference or confronting the people with a possible different interpretation of the meaning will make them aware that things can be interpreted differently. And in some organizations, like the military, ASAP and immediately have a clear, different definition. I already spoke about abbreviations before: earned value, expected value, planned value, present value, and other possible problems. Ambiguous words: larger, faster, bigger, higher. Well, that's not a good way to address elements in a project. We will talk later about the Lexus case. Toyota developed the new car, the luxury car Lexus. They didn't use this type of words. They said the speed of the car has to be at least 245 kilometers per hour. They used a clear word to define what they want to achieve. Words have to be smart. They have to be specific. measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. If a word that you use is not smart, then you have to find another word that will clearly define what you want to realize. You have to define words to avoid confusion. I already spoke about it in the previous session, but it's a good idea to have a list of words that can be confusing for other people. The PMBOK has a very nice list of words. It's a good beginning, but you can add it with words of your organization. The other organizations that you work with may have different words, and understanding what people want to say is a part of communication, and communication is a major part why projects fail. Technical terminology is to be avoided in the charter. It's a high-level document and it describes the goal of the project. In small organizations, it may be that the CEO or the top management are specialists in the subject. But in larger organizations, and talking with stakeholders and sponsors, it may be not the case. So using technical words may make people uncomfortable. They may not understand what you are going to do. So you have to be sure that the goal of the project and all the descriptions, all the information about the project are written in normal language. No technical terms. So, this was a short session. Let's continue in the next sessions. You're doing a great job. See you in the next session.